All right, everybody, welcome to the Extra Innings podcast. I am your host, Elijah Rodriguez. So it's been a minute since I've done a podcast like this. This is actually going to be a little bit different. If you are a fan of the Bottom of the Ninth podcast, I want to thank you guys so much for listening throughout the whole time that thing ran its course. If you're new here, just going to give a kind of a brief introduction. This is the first episode ever. And it's going to be, like I said, if you were a fan of the last podcast, we did all those interviews. We did a lot of different stuff regarding like baseball products and stuff like that. This is going to be pretty damn close. It's just going to be a little bit more on like my agenda rather than following somebody else's or following a company who wanted me to talk about XYZ. This is going to be about what I want to talk about, all baseball, kind of anything and everything in between. Mostly right now, obviously it's baseball season. The best time of the year just started a couple weeks ago. So there's all kinds of shit I could be talking about, which is super fun. It's the best time of the year besides when postseason starts and wild card games, which is like the second best, I guess. But yeah, it's nice and early, bright and early here. If you didn't know, I'm in San Antonio, Texas. So way down here in the South. But 6 a.m. here. We're gonna talk about a couple of things. Like I said, I was gonna give a brief introduction. I kind of did already a little bit. But yeah, so like I said, baseball season's in full swing. I've had quite a few people asking me, what the plan is, what we're gonna be doing. Like I said, guys, this is gonna be real simple. I mean, I'm gonna keep it as easy and as free flowing as possible. This is not, like I said, we're not gonna be following any agendas. We're not gonna be having to talk about XYZ because we have to talk about XYZ. This is going to be strictly what I want to talk about, what I feel is important in baseball, MLB, mindset stuff that I've learned along the way, in my playing career and talking to other pro guys. And hopefully, as we're getting started, obviously, with Bottom of the Ninth, and working with Baseball Express, that was very much an established brand, an established company, if you call it that. But we're going to be trying to get more player interviews. Obviously, right now is going to be pretty tough until probably the fall, with a lot of the guys that I know personally are in the middle of their season, and I'm not the kind of guy who's going to interrupt and try to get them on a podcast mid-season. Man, those guys they're grinding, they're trying to make a living, so we're going to keep it that way. If something arises and I can get somebody on, we'll do it. But for the most part, probably for a little bit, we're going to be keeping it strictly just baseball content. Interviews probably come later. But just so that we threw that out there, so no one's like, where are all the interviews? We'll get to them. Just right now, it's going to be a little slow, just for that reason specifically. But yeah, guys, baseball is in full swing. There's a lot of crazy shit happening. Obviously, I mean, I kind of wanted to go through a couple things, just kind of a couple big pieces that I've been seeing here and there for the last like couple days. If you tuned into our socials, go ahead and give that a follow on Instagram, TikTok, and then I wanted to make a Twitter. I'm already not huge on Twitter. I just think that X is kind of fucking stupid. I'm just not a huge guy on Twitter. So my personal Twitter is the Twitter for Extra Innings. It's all baseball shit. It's funny. I was talking to my buddy the other day about it, and we were kind of like talking about all these algorithms and shit. And my feeds are literally guitar, baseball, and that's like it. That's all it is. And honestly, the cool thing about like I said, I think Twitter's really fucking stupid. But I think that the cool thing about Twitter is that you can actually tailor your algorithm to whatever content you want to see. If you want to see XYZ, interact with XYZ, you'll get all that on your Twitter feed. So I think it's pretty cool that my Twitter feed is just literally baseball and shit that I care about, because you can totally 100% customize them to your liking. So like I said, Twitter, I don't have an Extra Innings Twitter account. It's just my account. So if you want to follow that, I'm posting baseball shit, posting hot takes, opinions, shit that's happening. So there you go. That's that. But yeah, give us a follow. I've got all kinds of clips, short form content. YouTube is on its way. I'm still working on that. Like I said, guys, this whole thing kind of just like spur of the moment. I wasn't sure if we were going to keep this up. I wasn't 100% sure if I wanted to. Like I said, it's early. I need my coffee, but. When Baseball Express let me go and all that, like I had told a lot of people, like I spent 2023. I'm not a huge travel guy, like at all. Like I'm really not. I'm kind of a homebody. I like to just kind of do my work and kind of just grind at home, and I like the comfort of my home. So me traveling is like really putting me out of my comfort zone. And last year, all of 2023, from literally 2 days after the New Year's Day, like 2 days into it, I'm traveling to Tennessee, going to my first ABCA, doing a bunch of shit, and then like the rest of the year from New York to Connecticut to, like I said, Tennessee to Dallas, not that far from me, but still it's travel. We went there 3 times. St. Louis a couple times because that's where we were headquartered. Yeah, I was all over the country. Went to Boston twice, 3 times. I mean, like, dude, I was traveling and trying to build up that brand for the whole year, and that alone, on top of your job, trying to get content. I was trying to do performance content. We were trying to get with like catch bullpens and do a lot of stuff with pro guys before they took off to spring training. So I kind of had to fit all that into the first half of the year, on top of the traveling, on top of the content, on top of all that stuff. So I was like notably burned out. Like I was totally like, I don't know if I want to do this. I remember talking to my buddy Adam, and I was like, yeah, should I? Like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do. Once I got laid off, I was kind of what's the plan? What do I go? Get something else immediately off the bat? Do I stay in sporting goods or whatever? And we kind of talked about it, and he's like, man, you have to keep the baseball content. You've built this whole platform. Why wouldn't you keep trying to make baseball content? And I was like, man, I just don't know if like that's in me anymore. I'm like, dude, I was so gassed. That was even like, 3 weeks ago, I was still on the fence about doing this. And then, the fact that I sit here and I'm on Twitter, like I said, if you go on my Twitter, it's all baseball, maybe some movie shit with guitar stuff. Like it's all baseball. So I'm like, okay, if I'm sitting here commenting and talking about baseball all day, I might as well make some content. But I think that the thing that kind of switched it, that kind of changed my mind on it, wasn't even really like, okay, let's make more baseball stuff. Because now it's like, the cool thing about this is that I can do this and talk about and do and make things that I feel are important, rather than it's like, hey, we need you to talk about this bat. Hey, you need to talk about this, that, or the other things that we sell, promote that. Like it's different. It feels very forced. It feels like you have to talk about these things. I remember like having to push things that I wasn't even a real believer in, which is like a huge, like, fair disclosure, I get it. I worked for a company. I had to push products. The whole point of having a retail company is to make money. I get it. I'm not stupid. I understand. But from a creative aspect, that kind of sucks, because it's like, okay, I'm stuck here. I've got to talk about these things, that, and the other. I got to keep it, if you know me, I say so many cuss words because it's just part of my vocabulary. I was having to like censor myself. I couldn't say certain things, certain takes I couldn't talk about. Like there's just a lot. There's just a lot of change. And I think that this is going to be 10 times better because I'm on my own agenda. I talk about what I want. And I feel like that's going to be beneficial rather than me forcing a lot of stuff. So enough of that. Let's talk about some baseball, guys. So if you haven't been paying attention, I think one of the biggest things, I was watching MLB Network yesterday, and we're going to transition into what this show is really going to become. Before we get into what I want to talk about, because it's about the Astros and it's kind of funny, because that's what they're talking about at MLB Network, and it actually caught my eye, pulled me away from what I was doing, because I had to totally disagree with I don't even remember it wasn't MLB Central. I think it was Now. I don't remember what it was, but I was like totally flabbergasted by these guys' comments. But this podcast, I know I wanted to do it weekly. I wanted to make sure that it was done on a week-to-week basis. I think this is going to be a lot more frequent than that, because like I said, I'm getting up early in the morning to do these things, film some content, get a lot of stuff out throughout the day. So I might film one, like, honestly, daily. I don't see why I wouldn't do it daily. Like early, get it out by noon. That seems like a good structure right now. Here's the thing, guys. Like I said, I'm prone to overworking and overdoing it. So it may be every day, maybe every other day. Like I said, we're going to do this no pressure, totally free flowing. If it comes, it comes. If it doesn't, it doesn't. I just hope you're along for the ride. Anyway, so that's what it is. So look out for these every other day, every day. Just know that it will be more than weekly. That's for damn sure. It'll be more than weekly. So now, with that being said, yesterday, okay, I got to pull this up because I was flabbergasted by the Astros. So the Houston Astros, right? So I was listening to MLB Network yesterday, and I'm not the biggest Astros fan. I mean, if you know me, you know that I'm actually like I was boycotted. I boycotted them for a long time simply because of the whole cheating scandal. I hate to say that I'm not a fan of somebody because I don't fucking know these guys. I didn't like the way Carlos Correa carried himself. I didn't like the way that Bregman carried himself. I know Bregman's kind of changed his overall mindset, appearance, the way he behaves, the way he conducts himself is different now. It didn't used to be. He was pretty cocky back in the day, but I just wasn't a fan of the way that they carried themselves. It was just really really strange, um, and just over the top at some points. And anyway, so the point is, I wasn't a fan of the Astros. I'm still not the biggest fan of them, but it just they're an enigma. But anyway, so also I forgot to mention Forrest Whitley, San Antonio kid, went to Alamo Heights down over here in the San Antonio area, made his debut yesterday. We'll talk about that here in a second. But the quote was, "Are we worried about the Astros? Are we worried about the Astros and how they've had a slow start?" And I've talked to, I mean, obviously I'm from San Antonio, so everyone here is either a Rangers fan, a Yankee fan like me, some random fan, or they're an Astros fan, which like I'd say 70 to 75% if you live in San Antonio. If you're from Texas or anywhere from South Texas, not North Texas, you just default are an Astros fan. I've seen more bandwagon Astros fans in the last 3 years, and I care to see people that don't even give a fuck about baseball are now Astros fans. That's annoying, but whatever. Because I get it. Closest team. People don't really want to travel to Dallas from San Antonio. It's easier to get to Houston. I get it. Am I happy about it? No, but I get it. Anyway, they were like, "Are we worried about the slow start to the Astros season?" I mean, they've dropped. I mean, they've really been struggling. Like, if you look at everything, guys, the Astros are down bad. 6-13. They haven't had a start this bad since before 2016. It's not good. I mean, here's the thing, and here's the thing that I'm talking about. They're like, and here's what I disagreed with the broadcaster. I fucking forgot his name. Are we worried about the Astros? And he said no, because they've started slow in the past. Granted, not this slow, but he says overall, I'm not worried. Astros will figure it out. Yada yada yada. If I'm an Astros fan, I am 100 fucking percent worried. Like, this year is going to be stressful beyond belief. Number one, because this is the last year you're going to have Bregman. It's the last year you're going to have Tucker and countless. I think there's like 4 or 5 other guys that are on their last year before they hit free agency. And the Astros are, they're notorious for letting guys walk. I mean, they let JV walk last year only to bring him back because, shit happened in New York with the Mets. You hear mixed things there. I don't know if that was actually Verlander's fault or if there's just a mix with management. They botched the whole thing literally with Verlander and Scherzer. It was a mess. But I'm worried. You got JV. Justin Verlander is rehabbing. He's still hurt. I know he's pitching. He's throwing again. It's just great. It's fine. But how will he come in? You're talking about a guy who's I'm not the kind of guy who's like 40's old. It's not old, but in baseball, it is. It's old. You're nearing the end of your tenure. I'm worried how he's going to come back, how he's going to perform, if he's going to be Justin Verlander. Because even last year, he wasn't. He was good. I know the year before that he was even better. But it's like last year I was a little worried. This year he's hurt. You don't really know what to expect. You got McCullers is supposed to be your guy. They've held this man in high regard. But I swear to God, I was talking to my buddy about this. I've never seen McCullers play a full fucking year. But they keep holding on to him like he's this guy. But I'm like, yo, you're turning into Strasburg here, dude. No offense, Strasburg. I know he just retired. And he had some serious issues. But like this guy, I'm like, you're hurt and you're fine for 2 starts. You get your shit rocked. Then you're hurt again. Rehab it back. Have an okay start. Next start, get shit on. I'm hurt again. It's like, it's just the same thing over and over. I'm like, at what point are we going to stop and be like, okay, brother, either there's something seriously wrong or we're just going to have to part ways. Maybe this isn't the right fit for us. I don't know. We're talking about that. I don't know how we've held on to this guy or how they've held on to him for so long and gotten no results. I mean, I don't know. But, you got him. Then the biggest blow, I mean, is Framber Valdez. I mean, is he's your guy. He's your ace. he's hurt, with the elbow injury, and I've if you haven't followed me on social, like I said, I made a video about what I think the issue is. I mean, we can say it's pitch clock, say it, whatever it is. I'm gonna make a video on it and kind of go into detail about it, but he's hurt. That's a big blow to your pitching staff. Like I don't even know. Like honestly, like the depth chart on the Astros is not very deep right now. It's not great. So you got Justin Verlander, IR. Framber Valdez, IR. Both, I think they're 15-day. Christian Javier did okay. Urquidy, IL, another guy. Hunter Brown struggled bad. He's struggling really bad. McCullers is another one, IL, 60 days. Luis Garcia, 60 days. Ronel Blanco is the shining light in this rotation. Throws a no-hitter. Been hella impressed with Ronel Blanco. I mean, dude's a stud. I mean, he's just he threw like 16 innings of no-hit ball, including the no-hitter, and then went into I think 5 more innings the next day, like that, or his next start. That's insane. Shining light. JP France. Okay, I mean he's good enough to fill the shoes of some of these guys you've got out. That's for damn sure. Christian Javier is another guy that a young guy. I think that he's going to be just fine. But like I said, when you're placed in a lineup or a rotation where your meat is all broken, it's really hard to find those lights. I think for the Astros. I mean, like I said, Christian Javier will be okay. Hunter Brown. I think Hunter Brown kind of bounced back yesterday. I think he had his start yesterday. But the start before that was egregious. I think he gave up like 9 in the first. It was not good. And then Ronel Blanco, I said, good dude, solid. JP France. Now the bullpen is where I think that they're even more hurt. Got rid of Stanek. They lost Stanek last year, which was a hard throwing guy. He was pretty solid. They kept Brian Abreu decent. Rafael Montero is really hit or miss. He's a 50-50 chance when he steps out there. Presley, decent, still pretty solid. Some of these other guys I haven't seen pitch, but you still got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guys on the IL in the bullpen. The biggest one, guys, and this is something that I've told people. I told them. I made a video about it last year for Baseball Express, talking about Josh Hader. And I'm a believer. I think that Hader hasn't been Josh Hader since his Milwaukee days. I believe it. I think that he was shut out. He was lights out. 100% earned that salary going to San Diego when they traded him. But even then, like when he got to San Diego, he struggled, and he didn't have a whole lot to celebrate with San Diego out there. I remember the whole fiasco with, are we in a playoff run? And I'm not throwing 2 back-to-back innings, like just some shit like that. You're just like, bro, that's like it's gross. But he comes to Houston, dude is struggling. I mean, dude, I haven't seen him do anything worth a shit since he's been here. Here we go. He's got 2 losses with a 9.39 ERA here in 2024. He's pitched in 9 games. He's had 1 save. 1 save. Hold on. So Josh Hader actually signed. Oh my God. Houston got him for $95 million 5 years. So he got paid the big bucks for a closer. But geez, bro, 7.2 innings and you've given up. Well, I'm not going to do the math here, but 9.39 ERA. So I'm worried. I mean, you paid a lot of money. You got rid of some key pieces in your bullpen. Stanek, namely, you have Presley. Presley's getting up there in age too. But like, dude, Hader, you needed more. You need more from Hader. I get slow starts. Like I say, yeah, Presley's 35, so Presley's on his way down. I mean, but even Presley, guys, here with a 9.53 ERA, 7 games pitched, 5 innings. He's only got 8 strikeouts with a whip of 2.12. Damn, like they are really struggling. I mean, I'm just for shits and giggles. I gotta look at Hunter Brown's ERA. I gotta look. Oh, a 10.54. Damn, 13 innings, 16 earned runs in 13 innings. I know 9 came from that 1 start, but holy shit. So yeah, am I worried about the Astros if I'm an Astros fan? I tend to root for them when there's no one else to root for. So like if the Yankees are toast, if there's an underdog team, I'm just like last year I was going for the Diamondbacks, just because they had a great story. They had a really low, but when it was Texas and Astros, if it was somebody else in the Astros before the World Series, I would have gone for the Astros. But Texas never winning one, Texas going that far. I remember watching them go that far in I think it was 2010 when Nelson Cruz missed the pop up. They would have won the fucking game. Neftali Feliz was pitching. David Freese had his legendary game. He hit that ball, then he hits the home run. That game is forever seared into my brain for how bad the Rangers botched that World Series. They had it. It was this close to Nelson Cruz's glove. But anyway, what I'm trying to say is if you know, if there's no one else playing, I'll go for the Astros just because Texas team. But I mean, I like to root for them from afar. Now, a couple years ago, I wasn't even going to do that. Now I'm like, yeah, I'll root for them. I'll root for them from afar. I'm worried. I'm very worried. You don't know what you're going to get back. You don't know. The other thing is how mysterious they were with this Framber issue. I mean, you already lost your Quiddy. You've got McCullers on the IL, Luis Garcia on the IL, Verlander on the IL. You don't know. You don't really know. Like with McCullers, you don't know what you're going to get when he comes back, if he ever fucking comes back. Garcia, Tommy John, he's going to be fine. He'll come back okay. Or Quiddy, I don't know what Quiddy's on the IR for. I think it was an arm injury. And then Verlander's the biggest piece. You're hoping he comes back in Cy Young form, but it's hard to believe that because of how old he is, how old he's getting. And I hate using age as a factor because you got some dudes that are up there. They're still throwing fucking Ched. But, like I said, Verlander's always been kind of a mixed bag off injury, so we're going to have to find out about that. But in other news, Astro news, I guess, Forrest Whitley makes his debut last night. Not picture perfect. He was making me sweat. It was already a 6-0 game when I turned it on. He came in the top of the ninth, I think. He's a reliever. Yeah, he came into the top of the ninth. I think his ERA is still 0. I don't think he gave up any runs. Mm-hmm. Oh, sorry. He only pitched 2 outs. So he came in with an out already. Yeah, San Antonio, Texas, man. It's wild to see. Was I impressed? He looked wild. I mean, he's a good pitcher, man. I remember I watched him when he was here at Alamo Heights. I watched him because my brother is his age. No, he's a year older than my brother. No, yeah, he's a year older than my brother. So he was a senior. My brother was a junior. I remember watching them play. I saw this kid. I was like, yeah, this kid's fucking good. This kid's fucking, because you hear about you hear the stuff about players, and sometimes they are very overrated, especially like just me talking in San Antonio. Like, I'm gonna take these off because it gives me a headache. But just in San Antonio, like sometimes you see kids and they're like, oh, they're these top prospects, and you're like, well, he's good. Is he like as good as everyone says? No, but this guy, he was good. He was always good. You could tell he had big league life. The dude throws in the high 90s. He's got some nasty shit. But last night he just seemed a little nervous. Totally normal. It's your MLB debut. Be a little nervous, dude. He's just missing I think the guy hit a double on his first at bat. Guy hits a double. Comes back and gets a couple guys. I think he hit a guy. But they got out of it. No runs. He got out of it. No damage was technically done. I think the game was pretty much already over. It was pretty much done. Like they weren't going to come back, but it is what it is. I kind of need these. But anyway, what I'm saying is like he did okay for an opening day for his debut. Not terrible. Would it have been cooler for it to go smoother? Absolutely. But no damage done. Got the nerves out. He did look nervous, but dude, pitched well. I'm excited to see what he can do, man, because he's nasty. He's got some nasty shit, and he throws really fucking hard. So we'll see about that. Now, next thing, I saw this post. This is not kind of going to go at MLB or anything like I did with my Astros one, but no, I saw a thing that said that the Phillies have the best bullpen. I'm sorry, the best pitching staff / bullpen in baseball. I didn't believe it. Because last year they were the fucking biggest disappointment. And I think it was ALCS, NLCS. I don't remember. I don't even know what the Phillies are in. But it was just the biggest disappointment against the Diamondbacks. That was just fucking egregious. That was horrible. I've never seen so many players swing for the fence repeatedly over and over and continually failing and not changing a game approach was just absolutely infuriating. because I'm a fan of some of these guys, man. I'm a fan of Philly. I like Trey Turner. I've been a big Bryce Harper fan since forever. Baum is good. Stott's good. You got freaking Real Muto behind the plate. He's a legend, future Hall of Famer. I mean, you got some dudes: Brandon Marsh, Schwarber, like Pache. You got fuck Castellanos. I don't like that guy. No, I'm just kidding. But I just like all the memes of Castellanos. But yeah, I mean, you got some really solid dudes, man. You got a hell of a team here. Now, the staff, I didn't believe truly that they were that great. And then I remember I looked it all up. They got Wheeler. They've relocked Nola. Suarez last night threw a fucking shutout. I think he threw he didn't throw a no hit ball, but it was pretty damn close. Right here, I have it right here. Hold on. He had, it was insane. It was nuts. He threw, where is it? Right here. 9 innings, 7 hits, no runs, 1 walk, 8K. Ranger, Jesus, go off, man. But yeah, I mean it's so you got Wheeler, Nola, Suarez, Sanchez, Turnbull. I have no idea who you are. I guess that's a new guy. And then you go to the bullpen. They still have Strom. Strom's good. You got that rookie from last year, Keckering, Orion. You got Jose Alvarado. So you got some guys. You got some dudes. I think they lost. No, they lost one guy, and I know because he's a big dude, but still not big enough. You got Covey on the IL. You got Rucker on the IL, but that's not anything to worry about. Tejon Walker's the other guy on the IL, 15 days. So they might have the best. Just those Wheeler, Nola, Suarez, that combo right there. I don't want any fucking part of that. That's nasty. And then you get Walker back, and it's even dirtier. And then you got this Turnbull guy. I don't know who this Turnbull guy is. Let me look this up. Maybe I'm being facetious. Maybe I'm just a jackass. I don't know. I've never heard of him. 15 innings with a 1.8 ERA. Turnbull, my guy. Keep throwing the fucking ball. Jesus. So he's been with Detroit since 18. Okay. Man struggled, man. 606. You're talking ERAs here. 606, 461, 397. But progressively got better. 606, 4.32. Then had a shit year last year at a 726. Only 31 innings. So you could tell he was used big in 2019. I guess 2018 rookie year. 50, 31. Yeah. So I mean he's on track, man. Where is he at? Games log, games started. So he's their guy. He's their starter there. He's got 3 starts under his belt, 5 innings apiece. Pretty damn good. A .93 whip, dude. Hey, solid. Never heard of this guy. Kind of one of those guys you just find in the rough. Hell yeah, man. All right. So Phillies best rotation in baseball. If not the best, they're pretty fucking close. I mean, Jesus. So now we got to talk about the Yankees, man. I got to talk about the Yankees. I'm a huge Yankee fan. I think I'm going to probably talk about them once a podcast because it's just, I have to. Are the Yankees struggling? Defensively, yes, I think. There was a video of Aaron Boone yesterday where he's like, it's our strength. When you got like 2 errors at each position, it's hard to say it's a strength. And here's the problem with that statement, guys. And here's my issue. Do they make great plays? Yes, they've made some awesome plays. You've got a fucking Gold Glover Volpe at shortstop. I think Torres has always been a little spazzy at second base. I think he's spazzy at the plate, but he does more good than bad at the plate with how spazzy he is. He scares me on both sides of the field. And like I said, nothing against him. I agree that he is still the best decision to play those spots. But he still scares, makes me nervous. Oswaldo Cabrera's going off. He's playing good defense. I think he also had an error. Rizzo's the one that's a little concerning. He's been nails his whole career. He's had a couple errors. Am I worried about it? Not to the extent that I'm worried about like the Astros. But, you got to clean that up if you want to win games. Like I know they lost again yesterday. They dropped the game. My boy Jose Trevino came in clutch with 3 RBIs that game. But they've dropped 3 straight. Against Toronto. Toronto's not the best team. I'm not like scared of Toronto. Are they good? Yeah, they're good. They got some dudes. They got some guys. But Rodon, I feel here's what scares me about Rodon is last year was tough. Last year was hard to watch. Last year was just hard to watch the Yankees at all. It was just a really bad year. It was not fun to watch. Also, John Sterling retired. That was awesome. Got to see him call his last Yankee home run. Sad to see him go. He's a fucking legend. But anyway, moving back, so we got Stroman tonight, apparently. But yeah, I mean, the other thing was like I said, so you got Rodon, and here's what's freaks me out about Rodon is he is constantly battling in every at bat, every outing. The last couple I've seen, he is like really like having to like push harder to get those strikeout pitches, to get that swing and miss. It's worrisome because it's like how long can he truly keep that up before it may die out and he doesn't have that same fight? Because like he struck out 5, but in only 4 innings, it just wasn't very good. It was decent. It was okay. We got Stroman tonight, which is cool. We got Stroman pitching against Toronto, which is good. That's cool. Let's see what we got on this roster. Let's go over some stuff. Okay, so we got Nick Birdie, Cortez. Cortez is another one that's just really he's alive but barely breathing type deal. I mean, he's struggling. Clay Holmes is good. Rodon, okay. Schmidt, Stroman. Stroman's one that I mean, he's doing really good. I'm like, he was really great in Toronto. He had a lot of like swag and a lot of around him. Then he went to New York and opted not to play with the COVID thing, and then he went to Chicago. The thing is, he went to the big thing with Stroman was that he went to he went to New York. He went to the Mets, and everyone was like, "Oh, he's always saying he wants to go to New York." Well, he went to New York, but it wasn't the right New York. Dude's been wanting. He's from the Bronx. He's wanted to be a Yankee his whole fucking career. Like you go to the Mets, it's like it's like buying off-brand cereal. It's like you're going to New York, yeah, to play for the fucking Mets. You'd rather play in New York. I mean, if you're gonna play in New York, you'd rather play for the fucking Yankees. I mean, that's my thing. Also, New York HDMH is not his nickname. That's his brand. Fix that. Anyway, so he's 1-1, 2.12 ERA, 3 starts, 17 innings, 17 strikeouts, 1.06 WHIP. Pretty damn good. Yeah, so he got traded halfway. New York. He played 2019, then he didn't play at all in 2020. Played New York in 2021, 10-13. I don't know. We can go through stats all day with these guys, but point is, he was pretty quiet in New York, and in Chicago, he had a hell of a year last year, which I think got him on everybody's radar. I was super surprised that they got him in the first place because he's tatted. He's not the typical Yankee bat, but then they got Verdugo. And they got Verdugo's another guy who's rocking like 17 chains. Yeah, so we got the Yankees are finally changing their mindset on some stuff. I wish they would change the no shave rule. But I mean that's a long shot, but I think they did a really good job this offseason. Am I worried about the pitching? It's very subpar. It's done okay. Time will tell. Like I said, we're 4 weeks into the season, so we'll know more. Cortez has to pick it up. Rodon's got to find that elite swing and miss stuff because his grinding out every single at bat, every outing is not going to last. It's just not going to. And then Cole, we need Cole back. Cole is scary. I still don't think that we know the full extent of the injury because New York is very hush-hush when it comes to stuff like that, especially with a blow that massive. Fingers crossed though he's back and we're good. I think they said they just got him going too fast. Hopefully that's the case. But yeah, and then the other thing, the catching situation in New York. Okay. The catching situation. Look, they got rid of Higgy. Traded Rendivort. Right, that's how you pronounce his fucking name. So Wells and Trevino were always, and I don't care what anyone fucking says. I don't care if you've got insight here. There, it was always you could read it. It was always going to be Wells and Trevino. You got the vet Trevino, and you got the rookie Wells, and they very equally offset each other. One is great against righties, one's great against lefties. It's been, you look at the stats, it goes that way both ways. Though both, in all honesty, and I love Jose, I love the dude, he's my homie. They're not offensive powerhouses, is all I'm going to say. They're not offensive powerhouses. You don't get Jose Trevino on your roster. You don't keep Jose Trevino on your roster hoping for 30 bombs or, a batting average over 350. It's just not, that's not what he's there for. He's a defensive specialist, in my opinion. He's got the clutch gene. I will say that. He's got the fucking clutch gene. That's for damn sure. And he showed that multiple times. And everyone was freaking out. I remember I was kind of pissed off going through Yankee Twitter like 2 weeks ago, a week ago, because Jose was, struggling at the plate. Everyone was calling for Wells to catch more games. But to be honest, Wells isn't batting any fucking better. So I don't know what you're calling Wells to be the starter. He's not the starter. He's a fucking rookie. He's working through shit. Yes, he's going to be good. He's going to be a good catcher. He's just not fully there yet. He's made some bonehead mistakes behind the plate. Jose Trevino is the better choice. He's the vet choice. He's been there. He's done it. He's played it. He's going to be the fucking guy most days. That's just how it's going to be. Because I like Wells. I like the youth. I like what he brings to the table. But he's not a Trevino guy. He's not on that level. Let's just call it what it is. I'd take Trevino's bat with the clutch gene and his experience over Wells in tight situations. My opinion. And dude, Oswaldo Cabrera, dude. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about Oswaldo Cabrera and Volpe, and then we'll move on to something else to kind of close this out. But Oswaldo Cabrera is freaking me the fuck out, dude. The guy is like going fucking off. He's batting 294. For Oswaldo Cabrera, 294 is shocking, considering the last, so he came up in 2022. 2022, he batted 247. Last year, kind of I'm not even going to look at stats from Yankees last year because it was all ass. All of it was bad. Wasn't good. He batted 211, which isn't bad. I know it sounds stupid, but it wasn't bad. But this year, 294. Where the hell did that come from? Dude is just going off. I remember in the first series against Houston, he was just like dropping bombs left and right. Then you got Volpe. Volpe's doing stupid shit too. Oh my God. What is he batting? 349. I know he was batting 370 going into like yesterday or the day before. 349. He's got 63 at bats this year. 22 hits, 2 bombs, 8 RBIs, 6 stolen bags, a 9.46 on base percentage. If he keeps that up, he's going to be a fucking all-star. I mean, Jesus. I mean, dude, go off. Go off, dude. Oh my God. Go off. Okay. So the last thing we're going to talk about, and this is something I saw again, I'm roasting. I don't take pride in roasting MLB Network, MLB.com. Some of their stuff's just kind of stupid, I think. But it's kind of funny to read. But some of it is really insightful. I love like I said, I'm going to read it. Whether I like it or not, I'm going to read it because that's just how I am. Okay. So this headline, can these 7 teams keep up their early success? I don't. Angels 8-9, second in AL. 8-9 is not great. The Angels are an enigma, dude. I don't. I was talking to my friend about this. Mike Trout, right? Let's talk about Mike Trout for a second. They lose Ohtani. They got Ohtani in hopes of pursuing a championship. Then they lose Ohtani because they did. I don't even. If they offered him, I don't even know. That whole saga was all fucked. If I'm Mike Trout, I don't know why you sign. I get loyalty to the fan base, loyalty. They were there for you. And you're their only team. To play with one team, to play with one team your entire career is probably, something that not a lot of players get. I mean, you have a handful that stick with the same team. I thought Freddie Freeman would be a Brave for life, and then that whole saga came out. He goes to L.A., and then you find out that his fucking agent screwed him over, which is shitty. I thought he was going to do that. You got Clayton Kershaw as one of the few has been a Dodger his entire career. Derek Jeter, another guy, was a Yankee his entire career. There's not a lot of guys that are, because everyone's chasing a paycheck these days, and I get it, man. Provide for your family, do what you got to do, make that money. I get it, but like to play for the same team, like my personal opinion here. If I'm Mike Trout, I am labeled as one of the greatest ball players of all fucking time. I want a fucking championship because then you're like Dan Marino. Dan Marino, greatest quarterback, legend, never won a fucking Super Bowl. Like, you don't want to be the guy who's the greatest of all time and never win a fucking World Series, never win the one thing you're there to do. So, like, me, like, if I'm in Mike Trout's shoes and the Angels are like, we want to sign you to this massive contract to be here forever with a no trade clause unless you ask for it. I'm sitting here going, I want to fucking win. And this is the same thing I said about Harper years ago before the Phillies really figured it out. And obviously, I was mad at Harper because I thought he sold out because at the time the Phillies were ass. They were bad. And I knew that. And I was like, Harper signing for as much as he did. From over here, I know from in there, they're like, hey, we're going to sign you, Harper, but we have plans to build this massive team, which they did. I didn't know that. No general public guy's going to know that. I just see Bryce Harper signing to a shit team for a fuckload of money. Same thing with Machado. I got upset about the Machado thing. I'm like, yo, you went to Padres before the Padres were good. Same thing. We're going to build this fucking team. We're starting with you, and then they build this fucking powerhouse. So I get it. I understand now from the outside looking in. But my thing was like, yo, I can't go out. You put as much money in my fucking pocket, and I get it. I don't have $1 million. I don't know what it feels like to have $1 million or what that even entails, right? But I don't give a fuck how much money, and this is truth, because this fucks with your mental. In my opinion, it fuck with your mental health. Like, you're making a lot of money. You're this great player. Like, if you're in this thing and you don't want to win, what the fuck is the point? It's like the whole argument with Rendon, but we'll talk about Rendon because we are talking about the Angels. Like, what? How are you going to play 162 fucking games? Maybe not 162. Maybe you play 150, right? Because Trout's a guy who's going to play if he's banged up, he's banged up. But if not, he's going to be in the fucking lineup. He's that guy. So it's like, how can you go out there and just destroy? You're really fucking good, but your team is nowhere to be found. You're out there alone. You're hitting all these home runs, you're driving in all these RBIs, but it's never enough. It's never enough. That would fuck with my head because it's like, wow, I went, fucking 4 for 4 with 6 RBIs, and then we lost 7-6. That's like, dude. And that's my thing. If I was Trout, I would have signed to a team that I was going to be competitive with a management group that was truly dead set, or sign with a team that I knew was going to be competitive out the gate, or sign with a team that gave me the promise, like, hey, we're going to build something so that we can win a fucking championship. Because doing this, I'm watching a video right now. He's just hitting home run after home run after home run, and they're still 8-9. Angels are an enigma, man. And then the Rendon thing, people shit on Rendon, but here's what people don't understand is that this is technically when he said the whole thing was like, this is just my job, blah 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 blah. I don't live this stuff. Like there are some guys that do, but it's like I look at it as you're an employee, right? It's like this is what it's on a massive stage and you're thrown into the limelight like this. But it is just a job. It is just a job, man. Quit shitting on Rendon. The dude's still going to play. Do I not agree with some of the other stuff he does? Yeah, some of the other stuff he says, he sounds really stupid, but that I do agree with. It is just a job, no matter how big on scale. Does he need to play more? Yes. Rendon needs to play more. Pirates are another one. Holy shit, the Pirates are insane right now. Why we're concerned? Well, they're the Pirates. What a hell of a reason to say that they're concerned. They are 11-7, second place. Pirates haven't been good. Damn, the Pirates haven't been to the playoffs in over a decade, and they haven't won the division since '92. This is exciting. This is very exciting for them. They're playing 500 ball. Yo, how has Paul Skeens not made it to the big leagues yet? I don't know. Pirates, there's another one to be, watch out for. The Royals got Bobby Witt. They've got, Brady Singer. They got some pieces, man. Alec Marsh, Cole Ragans. Oh my gosh. Yeah, they're Salvador Perez. You got that guy in there. Dude, Royals might come back. Royals haven't been shit since what, 15, 14, 13, 14, 15? They're coming back. Likely of sustainability, 30%. Damn. Why would you say that? They say the non-Ragans rotation to keep up their incredible numbers, though you think they will return to earth. What's, pretty stupid. Brewers 10-6. I'm not a fan of the Brewers. I don't think they have that many pieces. They lost Corbin Burns. William Contreras looks like he's pretty fucking good. He's been really good. They don't really have. You got Devin Williams is hurt. Yeah, I don't see them competing. They're missing a lot of pieces in my opinion. Guardians 12-5. They put some whippings on the Yankees, man. But the Guardians, hey, you got Stephen Vaught stepping in for Francona. 55% of sustainability to keep that up. Yeah, their whole division is insane. The AL Central is pretty damn good. I mean, for Cleveland to win 95 games, it's going to be hit or miss. It's going to be hit or miss. Who else we got on here? The Tigers. The Tigers are 10-7, third in the AL Central. Why are they concerned? Another team that hasn't been in the playoffs in a decade. They were aggressive in the offseason. Time will tell. It's still really early. So I'm reading these and I'm kind of laughing because I'm like, guys, we're like 17 games in. Like, let's see. Like, let's let it play out. 60%. The Twins are vulnerable. The Twins are not playing well. Yikes. The Yankees. Oh, let's see. This one's going to be interesting. The Yankees are 12-6. Why we're concerned. Garrett Cole's hurt, adding the cavalcade of injury woes. Yes. And suffered, and honestly is starting to feel like a franchise danger of flying off the rails. How? I mean, okay, time. Flying off the rails is pretty egregious. We had a bad year last year. Teams have bad years. They still have a lot of star power, dude. What's gone well? Well, heck, you name it. Yeah, we're throwing off for surprise success. It's not a surprise success. Look at the fucking payroll, dude. It's not a surprise success. The payroll's massive. On paper, all these guys should be doing some real damage. They're finally doing it. Yes, there was an implosion last year. Juan Soto is a big deal. Verdugo is a big deal. We've got some pieces, man. Judge is playing. He's playing well. Stanton is doing okay. I mean, we got some fucking pieces, man. We got something. It's not a surprise. It should. This is expected. It just doesn't happen because it's the fucking Yankees. Likelihood of sustainability, 75%. Light on pitching, 100%. All they have is Cole. Rodon still scares me, and got some other pieces. Stroman's a solid piece, but two solid guys with one or two guys that are I don't know. No. Yeah, it's fun to watch the Yankees, man. Yeah, fuck yeah, it is. Who else we got on here? Oh, that's it. Okay, so the Yankees are the last one. I kind of agree, man. A lot of these teams are hot early. It's true. A lot of teams start off really, really hot, or they start off really fucking bad, and it flips. And it's like I said, it's this fucking super cliche, super cringe. It's not how you start; it's how you finish. Some of these guys may keep it up, some of them might not, but shit happens. I don't really know how to navigate this. Like I said, it's still really fucking early. I think the Orioles are another team that have kind of struggled out the gate, but they've shown these flashes of star power. Because what are the Orioles? That's the last one I'm going to talk about because they have Jackson Holiday come up. This year, honestly, before we even get into Baltimore real quick and any of their stats, this is going to be a fun fucking year because of the amount of prospects that I've watched make it up. Like you've got Holiday I've watched since he was in high school. I've kind of followed his journey and thought that I honestly didn't know if he was going to be ready this year. And I thought for a while after watching his first couple games, I was like, shit, maybe he wasn't. Then he got the hit. His defense, his debut was, he missed a pop-up, maybe playing a little bit nervous. I hate judging. Some guys are in the moment for the debut. Some guys are nervous. You got to get the first one out the way, then really see how they play and how they perform at that level. But he was a little worrisome for me. Didn't get a first hit till his third or fourth game, so that was a little worrisome. But anyway, like I said, you got him coming up, or he is up. I'm praying for that he stays up. Jack Leiter's making his debut tomorrow, which is really fucking exciting. Another guy, Vandy guy I've watched for a while that I'm like, hey, this is going to be sick. Dude's good. Dad's a legend, Al Leiter. So that's cool. We got Leiter starting on Thursday for Texas, who desperately need the fucking pitching, dude. Oh my God, they desperately need it. Dylan Cruz for the Nationals, another guy I was watching yesterday. He's their number one prospect. I don't think he's as polished as some of these other guys, but he's going to probably make it up. I say he's there. He's here by July at the earliest. Maybe June. He's a stud. So you got, like I said, you got Leiter, you got Holiday made his debut. Cruz, I think, will come. Skeens, I don't know what they're waiting on with Skeens. I don't know. I mean, they've got a couple pitching pieces. Let's see. Oh, honestly, I really don't know. I mean, obviously, I'm not internally in the conversation, so I don't know why they're not putting Skeens up there. Because you got Kimbrel. Kimbrel's shown some life actually as an Oriole. He's doing pretty solid. Corbin Burns, Kimbrel, I don't know who any, like I'm saying, I don't know who any of these guys are. Dylan Tate, Jacob Webb. I mean, Grayson Rodriguez is a guy who was up and down last year. He's a good player. Another Texas guy. But yeah, I don't know what we're waiting for really with. Why am I talking about Skeens with the Orioles? That's not the same thing. I was talking about the Pirates. So the Pirates have their pitching's kind of hit or miss. They got Martin, but hold on. Pirates baseball. Let's see. I don't know why I was talking about fucking Baltimore's pitching with Paul Skeens, but oh man. So let's look at the pitching real quick for this. So Hunter Stratton, Ryder Ryan, Martin Perez, one guy. Jared Jones is the guy that's balling out right now. But none of these other guys I think are ready. You got Bednar, Chapman. Like I said, there's no real big arms. Like bring up Skeens, man. The dude throws gas. He's shoving in double A or triple A, wherever he's at. It's time for him to come up, man. It's time. It's time. I'm excited to see Skeens. I think he's a hell of a pitcher. I think he's bigly ready. I've watched pretty much every outing he's had through socials or on the internet. Dude's ready. I think he's ready. But yeah, guys. So we'll kind of wrap it up there. Like I said, I just wanted to kind of take a second, kind of give a brief introduction to, what this podcast is going to be, what it's going to be moving forward. Like I said, I'll have more, detailed topics moving forward. I kind of wanted to just hop on here for an intro, kind of talk about, what we're going to talk about, the changes that are going to be made from the bottom of the ninth to the Extra Innings podcast. I think the name is sicker, to be honest, but it's just me. But yeah, we'll have more detailed topics. Like I said, I'm going to get to the interviews eventually. Right now, it's a little bit slower. Like I said, guys are in season. We're trying to build this whole thing up, so we're gonna go from there. But yeah, I'm super pumped. Just wanted to talk about some of the blaring things happening in Major League Baseball as of now. But yeah, so thanks for listening. Like I said, we're gonna be putting these out every other day, every day. I don't really know. It's kind of on my schedule and how I feel. Like if something crazy happens, I'll put something out. If I'm rolling, if we got some shit happening, which normally every day during baseball season, there's something happening, which is interesting. So just be ready for the content. Follow us on socials. Follow us or subscribe to us on YouTube. It's going to be a blast, guys. I'm super pumped. But yeah, guys, we'll go ahead and catch you in the next one. And thanks for listening.